Hello. One of the most difficult parts of the narcissist experience is the decision as to whether or not you leave them. And we've talked a lot about this. Some people don't. They remain there. It's a lifelong decision. They're in this relationship for years and years and years, and they're not leaving. Some people leave and they discard their narcissist. And that can be, other than being in the relationship with the narcissist and dealing with the daily horrific nature that is the relationship, one of the most daunting points is when you discard them. It's not all sunshine and fun and games and, ooh, I discarded them and I'm good. And a comment from a viewer recently motivated me to recheck this topic and talk about this a little bit because she's very despondent. She just discarded. And she's kind of, I really, really felt for her. She's at her wit, like, what do I do now? Like, what now? What now? Is the feeling I got from her comment. And I think a lot of people go into it that way. They're scared. They don't know what now? Like, okay, now you're just sitting here. You've discarded. You made the decision. You did it. Which, that's phenomenal that you executed that decision if you did discard your narcissist. And if they've discarded you, you can also listen to the following 7 things. Just because if they discarded you doesn't mean you can't turn it around and have light at the end of that tunnel. Them leaving you, blessing. But there are things that happen, and they're not all good. And the first is, number 1, there will be sadness. I'm sorry, there is. That's normal. Very normal. Oh my God, you're saying goodbye to something that you had bet on, something you invested your time in, something you counted on as being your happy, right? So whether you're discarding or you were discarded, but especially if you've discarded, it was a tough choice you made. You chose to throw away all of what the relationship promised you, even if it was fake promising. You've now chosen to throw it away. There's going to be a sadness. You're going to miss them. You're going to miss out on the future you thought was coming. Even if you've logically realized now that's never coming, and that's why you discarded them. You're still missing it. It's sad. It's sad. It's very normal to feel sad. I don't want you being thrown by that and lead you into number 2, which is you're going to want to go back. That point happens. I've never seen a clean break yet where somebody had no tinge of wanting to, but maybe, but I have one more thing to say. Maybe he has more to say. But it's going to happen. The only way to get through that is to fight through that. That feeling of wanting to go back is also very normal. And on the heels of you discarding them, it's almost like your body is going into shock. Because remember, we've talked about addiction, and we've talked about how with them there's a lot of addictions that are at play. So you wanting to go back, you're probably already craving, oh my God, wait, you left them, so now you're sitting at, there's no possibility for adrenaline right now, cortisol, dopamine, endorphins. And your body is starting to recognize that. Oh my God, wait, what's going to happen? How can I fill it? You're going to have to figure out other things to fill those cravings. You want endorphins? Go for a run. You know what I'm saying? You have to get creative. But you are going to want to go back, and that is very normal as well. I just want you to know what to expect. It doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean you reach out. It doesn't mean you go back. It's not a sign that you should go back. Speaking of which, number 3, they are going to try anything to lure you back. Be warned. And when I say anything, I mean anything. That's where that hoover comes in. They're gonna say anything. They're gonna plead, beg, promise, get really creative, fall on their knees. I didn't know how much I loved you till I lost you. Oh my God, I can't live without you. They're gonna do everything. Be warned that it is a manipulative trick so that they can get back and then discard you. They need to be in control. So if you've discarded them, which that's what I did with my narcissist, even though we had some back and forth with conversations and whatever, I never did say yes to his hoover attempts to wanting to then come back in my life again. That never happened. I didn't allow that to infiltrate my decision making of staying separate from him. I knew that being coupled with him was nothing but a disaster, and there was no way on earth I was going to allow any of his attempts to work. Now, did they work, soften me? I let him talk to me. I let him come in. I did that for months and months and months. I wouldn't recommend that either, trying to be friends. I tried to extend it to learn what I could. They're trying to lure you back so that they can then discard you, so that they were the ones in control. They don't like the fact that you've discarded them. Not because they're brokenhearted, but because they're not in control of the discard. You discarded them. That causes tremendous narcissistic injury, and to repair that, they have to get back into the driver's seat. If you never allow them one time to get back together with you, boom, it sticks. Yeah, they're bothered. Okay. I'm sorry you're bothered, Mr. Narcissist Man or Miss Narcissist Woman. I apologize. Did I hurt your feelings? I'm sorry. Stick with it. That's what they're trying to do. Number 4, you will find post-discard that you have a lot of time on your hands. That really hit me. A lot of time on your hands to fill however you want. But it was really something when I discarded it, and I was like, I hadn't realized how much time I spent on the narcissist, with the narcissist, for the narcissist, thinking about, doing things, getting ready, but. When I discarded the narcissist, I couldn't believe how much time I had on my hands. I couldn't believe it. From morning until night, the clock is yours. It's unbelievably open to do whatever it is that you want to do in that day. It's no more catering to them, trying to make them happy, trying to please them, walking on eggshells. Your time isn't spent that way anymore, which is glorious. That part's glorious and peaceful and quiet and without the adrenaline of a fight, and without the screaming, and without the hurt. Just bask in the quiet time of your day and revel in the fact that there's no hurt happening to you. You feel hurt from this breakup, but you right now in your day have no suffering. So bask in that. But you'll be surprised how much time you have on your hands. Number 5, if you do stick it out, you will see the feelings of despair fade. That's the good news. It doesn't seem like it. Oh, there are minutes and there are days and there are moments and there are hours where you're going to be crying and singing your favorite love songs and hugging the pillow. It can be all that kind of movie-like despair. Let yourself go through it. It's okay. But in time, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel weird that you didn't cry hug the pillow, and sing. So it's going to happen one day. You're going to wake up, you're going to be like, I didn't even sing any sad songs today. I didn't even cry today. Even if you're still feeling inside, pay attention to your actions, because day by day they get less and less in terms of actions that demonstrate that you're depressed. The crying, the singing, sad love songs, that does dissipate over time. You have to give it time, which means you have to fight through missing them, thinking you want to get back with them, and reaching out to them. If you do give it time, it does fade. I promise you. I told you months ago, I was singing Gladys Knight in the kitchen, crying my eyes out. Because I answered a Hoover. It ended up bad. I ended up singing Gladys Knight in the kitchen. That was a handful of months ago. It was quite a bit post-breakup, but it still happened. They still have the ability to get in. If you keep them at bay and you stick with your plan, the feelings will fade and you won't be triggered to sing Gladys Knight in the kitchen because you'll maintain your distance and your space for yourself. It's when you revisit. I was doing just fine. It's very tricky when you revisit any kind of conversing with them or visiting with them, or it's a tough thing to maintain contact with a narcissist once you've discarded them. And there's a reason they say that you should not. If you stick it out, you will see that the feelings of despair will fade. I promise you they will. Number 6, you may even feel guilty. And I don't know how much people really talk about this one. I don't hear this a lot, but it's a real thing. You may even feel guilty when you discard the narcissist. Who will take care of this dysfunctional person now? What will become of them? You loved them. You care. That's natural. But don't let that spring you back to them also. They're dysfunctional, you're right, and you've realized it, and that's why you left them. And now you're thinking, but I could handle them. I mean, I do love them. They're going to what? Be like unloved in their life? They don't know from love anyway. They don't even get it. As much as my narcissist tried to tell me, no one's ever loved me like you've loved me. I'll never be loved like you love me ever again in the world. Number one, he might have just been, he probably was, that was, just to lure me and woo me and charm me. And number two, they're already off doing other things. Gaining that feeling from somebody else. I know that's a burn, and you don't want to hear that. But they can't be alone very long. It's nothing personal against you. The love they feel for anybody isn't quite real. They don't know how. They're not capable. So even if you feel like, well, he really did love me when he was with me, and I loved him, and I feel bad now, who's going to love? Don't worry about the narcissist, and don't feel guilty about whether or not they're going to go on in their life and be fine. Let me tell you something. They're not going to go on in life and be fine. It's not because they're going to remain brokenhearted over us. That's not what's going to make them go forward and not be fine. What's going to make them go forward and not be fine is the fact that they're a narcissist and they're disordered. So don't let guilt bring you back in to them because you feel bad. Who's going to take care of them now? No one's going to want them. They're disordered. They'll find somebody just like they found you. Unfortunately, they'll find somebody. That's why we have this channel. We're trying to let everybody know so they can't find anybody anymore. That's my goal. Number 7, you will land in a new place, a different place. It may have a lot of unknowns. It might be scary for you to think about, but try to look at it as exhilarating. You've discarded this narcissist, so now what? Anything you want. Don't let the unknown future scare you or make you nervous. Think of it as an exciting new chapter and phase in your life that you can conduct any way you want. You are free of that, and now it's all you. You're in control. That may scare you, maybe. Just being in complete, that might scare you. It's so exciting to receive what comes your way if you manage to stick it out. Because your future's coming either way, right? We know time's going to pass. And when you find yourself in the new place that you land, it is a different place. You're a different person. You've been through this experience. You're smarter. You're stronger. And you came out the other side. So there's a lot of now whats once you leave a narcissist. Now what? There's a lot. Those are my 7 that I wanted to share with you, because there's that and many more things that are coming your way. But you made the first step, and you should be very, very proud.